We're going to talk about some niches. Niches. All right, so I've talked quite a bit about niches in the past, but I'll do another quick run through. It shouldn't take me long. So what are the niches? So let's rephrase this. What are your pay per call / pay per lead niche requirements? Let's put it that way instead. All right, and I'll share some niches as well. Okay, this is way too big. It's tripping me out. Whew, there we go. All right. So for me, guys, at the end of the day, I like selling to blue collar versus white collar. Reason why is I can talk chest to chest. I can talk logic, right? And it just works better for me. I don't like long sales processes myself. If I can choose a niche where I can literally get to a business owner in 3 or 4 phone calls, right? And I can pitch 1 in 2 or 1 in 3 and I can get a sale. Right? So effectively 1 in 10 cold calls, 1 in 15 cold calls is going to net me a new customer. Why would I go after a vertical where I need to make 200 phone calls to get a new customer? Give me a 3 if that makes sense to you guys. And that's my prospecting style too. I'm not saying that that can't be different for you. I'm not saying that you can't crush it with white collar. I have a friend that crushes it for personal injury attorneys, right? He's a personal coaching client of mine. Absolutely freaking crushes it, right? But he makes more per customer and he has a longer sales cycle than I do, right? For me, it's just not my preferred niche to go after. Okay, this is just my personal preference, okay? By all means, if I had a strategic partner that gave me an in with 3,000 personal injury attorneys or 3,000 of some other niche, right? And I could go pitch on a webinar 1-to-many to all 3,000. Do you guys think I would be in? Yes or no? Let me know in the chat. What do you think? Of course I would be in. I would be in like white on rice, man. I would be freaking all over it. Okay, but because of my prospecting methods and I know how I'm going to get customers, how my team members are going to get customers, right? It makes sense for how I'm going to prospect for me to go after blue collar versus white collar. Give me a 2 if that makes sense to everybody real quick. All right, fantastic. So then next up is that the leads turn over within 1 to 2 weeks or faster. And what I mean by that specifically is that if a lead comes in within 1 to 2 weeks, the chances are, if they're going to convert, right, there's a 90% chance that they're going to convert in that first week or 2. Are there sometimes stragglers? Yes, right? But I want to be able to show a prospect, you spent this much money in marketing, right? And then over the course of the next 30 days, this is what you made back, okay? This helps me not always deal, right, with the what did you do for me lately? Or what did you do for me? Or, right, what's the return that I'm getting and me not being able to quantify it for a customer, okay? Everything that I do as a business is very results oriented. You guys see that, right? Give me a 3 if you guys see that. In everything that I do as a business, in my agencies that I built and run and sold, right? And in my software companies and training companies, right? And on these webinars with you, everything that I do is all about results. Everything from A to Z. Okay? So for me, I have to be able to show this. And as long as I can show this, I will sell harder than anybody else, right? I'll stand on top of a rooftop and freaking shout it, right? Because I'm confident that I can get people a return on investment, right? That makes me very confident in my prospecting, right? And me working with clients as they come on board. And it also makes me very, very confident with my team, right? When I look at their numbers and I've already benchmarked my numbers, I can say, yeah, but you should probably be here, right? Try this, try that, right? And I can be confident. You can get better. You can do this, right? I know in the next 2 weeks, if you really try, right? You focus on selling with quality, you can up your close by 10 or 15%. Right? It gives me a little bit of a different perspective and attitude than most people. So blue collar versus white collar. For me, again, blue collar. I need leads to turn over within 1 to 2 weeks is kind of the general rule of the thumb, or at least the majority. And this is kind of like a duh one, but I'm not sure how to say it without just saying higher ticket. I mean, yeah, we all want higher ticket, right? You want to be in a business that has, 10% margin or 5%, or you want to be in one that has 30% and, has a higher ticket. Well, duh, I want to be in higher ticket. But let's just say this. Let's say that you were considering working with a florist. Valentine's Day is right around the corner. Thanks, buddy. Or you were going to work with a roofer, right? Which one is going to be easier to deal with, right? Which one's going to be easier to quantify? Which one's going to be able to be easier to show the return on investment? For me, it's all about that roofer, right? I get them one lead that turns into a good quote, right? Somebody says yes to the quote, or somebody has their insurance approve the program, right? Approve the quote, right? Or they apply for financing. Dude, that's money in the freaking bank, right? It's very easy for me to show my value. So at the end of the day, guys, these are kind of my big 3 criteria. And a lot of these guys are kind of obvious things. So let's step backwards for a second and let's talk about the number 1 thing. Yes, let's step backwards. Let's step back 3 steps and let's talk about the number 1 thing. The number 1 thing is you gotta like working with the niche. A lot of people say you gotta like work in a passion niche, and I always thought that like that was bullshit. Like, yeah, screw that. Right? I'll make money wherever. It's money. It doesn't matter, right? But long term, to really not get burnt out, right? Like when you wake up, you gotta be like excited to go to work, and you gotta be excited about the things that you're gonna do today, right? Not like, shit, man, I gotta go deal with another freaking florist. Right? Like that shouldn't be what's in the back of your mind. And if that's what's in your back in the back of your mind, right? Monday through Friday from 9 to 5 or whatever your hours are, right? Work's going to suck. Your life's going to suck. So first and foremost, you got to like working with the niche, I believe, right? Because you'll enjoy it, right? Talking with prospects will be a fun time for you. You'll get to know the niche, right? You'll become an expert in the niche. You'll be able to help people, right? After all, I think that's why most of you got in this space. All right, so make sure that you always consider that first and foremost.